In my sleep, I felt something soft beside me. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in my roommate's arms. How did he get into my bed? Moreover, he was holding me so tightly. No wonder I've always felt something was off when sleeping at night recently. Every night, I felt something soft. Wait a minute, why was it soft? I leaned closer to look at my roommate who was still sound asleep with his eyes closed. He had long eyelashes and a high nose bridge. He looked very peaceful. Recently, I've been sleeping quite soundly, but when I wake up, I'm weak and limp, as if I've been completely drained. This feeling is like having my young energy sucked away. What's going on here? It must be because I caught a cold after he snatched my quilt. I angrily pushed him awake and said, "Lucas, wake up. Who allowed you to come into my bed? And you even snatched my quilt. I don't want to catch a cold." I told him to leave. "Go back to your own bed." Right after I said that, something with soft and delicate fur wriggled in the quilt, and I felt tickled all over my body. I quickly lifted the quilt to check. As soon as I stuck my head in, I saw a snow-white and flawless tail. Before I could react, this fluffy tail slid up and wrapped around my waist. Lucas rubbed his eyes and opened them, looking dazed. "Do you really want to drive me away, brother?" It must be a dream. Last night must have been a dream. I don't remember if I fainted from the shock last night or if I just had a strange dream, because when I woke up this morning, I was in my own bed, and Lucas was also in his own bed. Before getting out of bed, I called out to him, "Lucas." He turned to look at me without a hint of guilt. "What's the matter?" Seeing how calm he was, I had nothing more to say. "It's nothing. I just wanted to call you." He gave me a faint smile. Both Lucas and I just moved into this dormitory. This dormitory is for 4 people. 2 of them moved out, leaving Theodore and Henry. Theodore often mentions his former roommates. To be precise, he had 4 former roommates, and they paired up in twos. Theodore said, "All the roommates who lived with us ended up as a couple." He also sized me and Lucas up seriously. "You two also look like a couple." Henry also pushed his glasses and looked at us. "Do you two like boys or girls?" I have a bad temper and waved my hand. "Get out of here." Lucas's reaction made me conclude that last night was a dream. But when I got up to pack up and was about to go to the teaching building, Lucas walked towards the area under my bed. He stroked my hand, and the corners of his cold eyes lifted, with a hint of charm. Felt exactly the same as last night. "Let's go to class together, elder brother." Lucas seems cold on the surface, but actually he likes to tease me very much. He is just annoying. I have the worst temper in the dormitory, and he just picks on me instead of others. Although he is taller than me, just because I'm 3 months older than him, he always says I'm old and deliberately calls me elder brother to remind me. He called me seriously, and others would only think that I, who was jumping around in a hurry, was being unreasonable. No one noticed that he was secretly laughing. The feeling of him touching my hand was so similar to last night. Could there be such a real dream? And his voice when he spoke. It was clearly the same tone as last night in my ear. I warily stared at his butt. The perfect gluteal muscles supported the lines of his pants. Where was the tail? Okay, I'll see where he hid his tail. I followed him to the class and stared at his butt all the way. On the way, I heard someone call us faggot. Fortunately, Lucas didn't hear it and didn't notice my focused attention on his butt. Not to mention, who could tell with him wearing pants? Even if there was a tail, it would be covered by the pants, right? Especially when he sat down in class. I couldn't see anything. I sat on the stool next to him, feeling anxious. Just then, the teacher called on him to answer a question. He stood up abruptly. What a good opportunity. I can't see, but I can just feel it. He has to sit down after answering the question, right? I spread my palm upwards and stretched it above his stool. This behavior is a bit lewd and perverted, but I really think what happened last night wasn't a dream. I closed my eyes and steeled myself. Sit down. Sit on my hand. Let me feel your tail. Lucas stopped answering the question, but no one sat on my hand for a long time. I opened my eyes and found that he was walking towards the podium, as if he was going to make a more in-depth speech. Alas, I missed an opportunity. Just after sighing, I was scolded by a student from another class behind me with, "You pervert." It was the one who scolded me on the way just now. Before I could say anything, the other person rolled their eyes and said, "Don't think I can't tell what you're trying to do to that handsome guy just now." At the end of the day, when I got back to the dormitory, Lucas went into the bathroom to take a shower. The door of the bathroom in this dormitory is broken and can't be closed tightly. It's a blessing from heaven. I took a big step and followed him. I pressed my face against the crack of the door and stared inside. It was steaming inside, but there was no sign of a white furry tail. Could it really have been a dream last night? I let out a sigh of relief and thought my daytime idea was too absurd. How could a person really have a tail? I stealthily pulled my head back, just as I was about to turn around and leave. Theodore slapped me on the shoulder and said, "Damn, you really like guys. Do you want to watch me take a shower?" I let out a scream, and there was a loud bang from the bathroom. "Get out of here." I gently pushed Theodore. "Stop spreading rumors. I was just checking if he was done. I'm in a hurry to take a shower." Lucas opened the door, already wrapped in a bath towel. "I'm done. It's your turn, big brother." His voice was cool, but there was a teasing look in his eyes. Sure enough, Theodore, who didn't know the truth, took his side. "Look at how you're bullying Lucas. He always has to give in to you." I thought Lucas's eyes were very alluring. A man with a pair of fox-like eyes. Forget it. I'm too lazy to argue with the two of them. I went into the bathroom silently, washed up quickly, and then climbed into bed. Nighttime. I was sleeping soundly. I felt my body sink into something soft. This feeling was like being in seventh heaven. Something with a velvety texture was brushing back and forth on my body, like it was tickling me. I woke up laughing. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Lucas' pair of fox-like eyes. My eyes popped wide open. Then I quickly closed them again. It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. I mumbled to brainwash myself, and the tail under the quilt wrapped around my waist again. "Brother, it's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream." I forced myself to fall asleep, sweating profusely. It must be a nightmare. When I woke up the next day, there was indeed no Lucas in the bed, but I saw the wrinkles on his pajamas. Last night I was so nervous that I wrinkled the corner of his pajamas with my hands. It wasn't a dream. At night, I didn't dare to sleep anymore. I lay in bed pretending to sleep, waiting for Lucas to get into bed. In the middle of the night, I heard him climbing up. "What are you doing?" I grabbed the wrist of him who was climbing up and roared at him in a hoarse voice. "Sleep with you, brother." Unexpectedly, he still smoothly got into my quilt. "What's in the quilt?" "My tail. Haven't you seen a male fox, brother?" Even though I had already guessed this in my heart, I still fainted from shock as if having a heart attack. Why is he so calm after being discovered? Isn't it said that when a fox shows its tail, it will run away? It took me a long time to accept the fact that my roommate is a male fox. Later I found out he has been sneaking into my quilt every night during this period. Then he would quietly go back to his own bed before dawn. I'm extremely strange and very puzzled. I'm angry. Why? Does my bed look like a fox den? If I remember correctly, fox dens are all dug as earth pits. Does my bed look like an earth pit? I'm very angry. Among the remaining 3 people in the dormitory, only mine looks like an earth pit, right? He pursed his lips. I've been feeling uncomfortable all over these days. I want to get close to someone. I'll feel very uncomfortable if I don't. I don't know why either. Why me? Lucas suddenly leaned closer to me and sniffed. "Because you smell good, brother." I shivered all over. No way. No wonder I've been listless when I wake up recently. It turns out that the male fox spirit has sucked away my vital energy. I kicked Lucas off the bed. "Who allowed you to climb up again? I really feel uncomfortable all over, brother." He kept calling me brother all day long, which gave me the creeps. I have a bad temper, but I'm not a bad person at heart. I'll let you stick to me, but you're not allowed to sleep with me at night. You can stick to me during the day. Glancing at Theodore and Henry's beds, I added another sentence. Don't let the two of them find out. In the next few days, Lucas would secretly stick to me during the day. He would secretly touch my hand from time to time and rub against my body as he passed by. Although I don't know why he insists on sticking to a human, seeing that he would be extremely uncomfortable if he didn't stick to me. I reluctantly agreed. Lucas should not be lying. This doesn't seem like an act. After all, he's a male fox. It's not surprising that he has such a strange condition. Actually, I've long felt that he's been a bit off these days. I don't know when it started, but he has become more lively and active than before. Although he acts like a drama king towards me, his public image has always been cold and aloof. He has been talking more recently. I feel that he is very excited. I can clearly see that he is trying his best to control his changes, but it's obvious that he can't control himself. If he doesn't touch me or have physical contact with me for a while, he'll be fidgety. He would pretend to pass by me casually, and when his hand gently brushed against my body, his restlessness would disappear. Why does he seem to have skin hunger syndrome? The key is that he didn't have this problem before. I have a bad temper, but I'm a warm-hearted person. I'll go to a psychologist for help. Doctor, I trust you very much. My friend has encountered something strange recently. I can't tell anyone else. I can only turn to you. You must keep it a secret for me and my friend. The psychologist took out a small notebook. Please go ahead. Our medical ethics won't allow us to talk casually. Don't worry, doctor, Suppose my roommate is actually a fox and he always likes to get close to me. Does he have any psychological problems? The doctor frowned and looked at me. I talked a lot about Lucas's behavior that he had to touch me. Otherwise he couldn't eat or sleep well. The doctor frowned tightly and listened extremely carefully. I was really worried about Lucas. It seems that he is very ill. Doctor, is he seriously ill? Indeed. The doctor put down the notebook and stared into my eyes. Apart from this friend you mentioned, what else can you see? I was puzzled. What do you mean? Don't be afraid. The doctor held my hand. Delusions can be treated. I'll help you well. There was nothing I could turn to for help. I could only obediently go back and let him apply it. Anyway, it didn't have any substantial impact on me. If he wanted to touch me, then let him. In the evening, Lucas watched me go to bed and was eager to act. Brother, I'm feeling really unwell tonight. I knew what he was thinking. Since I couldn't cure his illness and he was quite pitiful, it was okay to allow him to indulge this once. I, who almost got arrested as a lunatic, was in despair. Whatever. His lips curled up slightly. After Theodore and Henry fell asleep, he secretly climbed into my bed. In the middle of the night, I felt itchy all over my body and there was warm breath on my face. I opened my eyes and saw Lucas about to kiss me. What are you doing? I pushed him away. Are you crazy? Stealing a kiss from me? I thought of the story of the fox spirit sucking the yang energy from humans in the legend. Is he trying to take my life? This is truly a typical case of the farmer and the snake. I kindly helped him, but he actually wanted to drain me dry. Lucas was startled by me. You want to suck my yang energy to help you cultivate into a demon. You foxes are really insidious. Cunning. Unreasonable. What are you talking about? Lucas felt my forehead to confirm that I wasn't having a fever, then put his hand down. We foxes are very honest. Don't believe those rumors. I was still very angry. Who would believe your words? Very honest? Then what were you doing lying on my lips just now if you weren't trying to suck my yang energy? Lucas smiled slightly. I wanted to kiss you. I kicked him off the bed, pinched my own philtrum, and couldn't believe what I had just heard. Kiss me? It would be better if he sucked my yang energy. I could die quickly. He grabbed the edge of the bed and squinted his eyes. Just one kiss. I'm really a bit uncomfortable. Even though his uncomfortable look was not fake at all, I still ignored him. Pushing your luck. Just touching was okay, but he still wanted to kiss me? If you're itchy, go buy a cotton swab yourself. I turned over and went to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, Lucas was gone. The first person to notice his disappearance was Theodore. Where's Lucas? Why did he leave so early in the morning? Stingy guy. I kicked him out of bed, and then he didn't wait for me to go to class together. Not wanting to argue with him, I didn't pay much attention. However, throughout the day, Lucas didn't appear in either the dormitory or the teaching building. What does this mean? I just scolded him a few times, and he started to run away from home. Wasn't it him who wanted to kiss me first? I'm still angry. It was almost time to lock the dormitory at night, and Lucas still hadn't come back. Theodore was so anxious that he paced back and forth in the dormitory. It's been a whole day. Where could Lucas have gone? He doesn't answer the phone or reply to messages. Henry also sent a bunch of messages to Lucas. The two of them looked at me, who wasn't even looking at my phone. Aren't you worried, Levi? Maybe he had an argument with someone and ran away. What do you mean? Theodore stepped closer and said, Did you two have a fight? Sort of, I mumbled. Maybe he'll come back on his own tomorrow. You're really something. Making Lucas run away in anger. It was actually him who. Theodore frowned and looked at me seriously. He what first? Forget it. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. I absolutely couldn't tell him that Lucas tried to kiss me first. Theodore already suspected that I wasn't straight. The next day, Lucas still didn't come back. The three of us went separate ways to look for Lucas. We searched all the places around the school where he might be, but still couldn't find him. This made me feel really anxious. Then I received a call from Theodore outside the school. He was very excited. Levi, come back to the dormitory. Did you find him? No. Come back to the dorm first. There's a Samoyed in our dorm. It's as white as snow. What on earth does this white fox look like a Samoyed? I rushed back to the dorm and was amused by Theodore's words. I'm extremely familiar with this white tail. Theodore clicked his tongue. What should we do with this dog? Now Lucas is missing, but we found a dog instead. Is it possible? The dog you're holding with an unwilling look on its face is actually Lucas. Henry took 2 photos of Lucas. I'll go and post a notice about finding a dog now. Stop, 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 stop. I grabbed him. Put on your glasses and take a look. Is this a Samoyed? Henry pushed up his glasses and took a closer look. Oh my God. It's a fox. Theodore was so scared that he quickly let go of Lucas. A fox. He took 2 steps back and bumped his butt against the wall. Who of you will stay in the dorm and watch the fox? I'll go and look for Lucas. I held him back. Lucas sent me a message saying that he is very safe now. Theodore was shocked. Why doesn't he answer my call? I started to make things up. He has a good relationship with me. Theodore took back his steps and stared at me. Where is he now? He is now Inu. I looked at Lucas in his fox form. He was lying on the chair with his white fur all over, looking cute with his big eyes. I continued to fabricate. He has gone back to his hometown. Theodore was a little less worried and continued to ask, when will he come back? I gave Lucas a glare. When will he turn back? Today? He secretly shook his head at me behind Theodore and Henry. What does that mean? Doesn't he want to turn back? Still can't change back? He didn't say. Theodore still wanted to say something, but I pushed him towards the bathroom. Why are you so fussy? Stop asking so many questions. As long as you know he's okay, go wash up and go to bed quickly. What about the fox? We'll deal with it tomorrow. Lucas was very lively and scurried around the dormitory. Theodore was so scared that he grabbed the door frame. I helplessly picked Lucas up. Why are you scaring him? Lucas made a little cooing sound like a fox in my arms. Charmingly beautiful. He really looked a bit cute in this state. Much more pleasing to the eye than his usual provocative look. It seems not that scary after all. Theodore watched for a while, then summoned up the courage to reach out a finger and poke the top of Lucas's head. Lucas shook his head and buried it in my arms. He dislikes you. Impossible. Theodore decided to poke his head again, and I instinctively carried Lucas away. I don't know why, but I didn't really want Theodore to touch him. I frowned. One touch is enough. At night, after Theodore and Henry fell asleep, I pulled back the bed curtain and looked at Lucas lying on the table. The white fur on Lucas' body was illuminated by the moonlight, looking silky and delicate. He looked up at me with a resentful look in his eyes. I got out of bed and asked him, where did you go last night? He didn't say a word. Why aren't you in human form? He didn't say a word. How can you change back? He didn't say a word. Oh, right. Foxes can't speak human language. In his current form, he probably can't speak human language. Lucas rubbed his furry fox face against the back of my hand, with a seductive look in his eyes. At the moment our eyes met, I trembled all over as if electrocuted. As if I had been enchanted by him, I could only turn around and go back to bed. Lucas actually followed me up the ladder with his tail up. You go down. I waved my hand, and his tail drooped, and the light in his eyes also dimmed. I watched as he dejectedly climbed down the ladder, then moved to the table and jumped onto it. With his back turned to me, he seemed aggrieved or perhaps angry, his ears all fluffy. He was much more well-behaved in his fox form. At night when I was sleeping, I dreamt about Lucas. In the dream, Lucas was extremely alluring. Why do I say so? In the dream, he was human, but there were 2 white fox fur ears on his head, and a white fox tail stood upright behind him. His eyes were blurred, his voice was seductive, and he was only wearing a half-buttoned white shirt. Even more abominable was that there was a black shirt clip around his thigh root. How improper. Wagging his tail, he looked ascetic. Brother, help me regain my human form. I swallowed hard and felt a bit flustered. He looked so. As is well known, I have a bad temper, but I'm a kind-hearted person. How can I help? Theodore's snoring woke me up. Only then did I realize that I was dreaming. I pulled open the bed curtain and looked down. Lucas was obediently lying on the table without sleeping. I was afraid that he would turn his head and meet my eyes, so I quickly pulled the bed curtain back. Those fox-like eyes of his in the dream almost took my soul away. Why is my heart pounding so wildly? I tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. My mind was full of his bright and captivating fox-like eyes and his masculine figure. Damn it! Why is my heart still beating so fast? My face is so hot too. My ears are so hot too. My body too. I turned over and covered my head with a pillow. Stop thinking about it. I fell asleep again and actually had a continuous dream. Lucas was still there. His eyes lit up, and he continued from the previous dream scene to answer me. Hold me while sleeping and stay close to me all night. Then he crawled towards me with his tail wagging. The next day, the bedsheet was dirty. This dream is so absurd. When I came back from washing the bedsheet, I saw Theodore and Henry surrounding Lucas, having a great time teasing him. Theodore didn't seem to be so scared anymore. He was even a bit interested. How about keeping him for a few more days? He's really quite cute. What do you think, Levi? I passed by with a wash basin in my hand and didn't dare to look at Lucas. Whatever, I don't know when Lucas will turn back. After Lucas turned into a fox, He was much more lively than in his human form. He scurried around the dormitory every day and often rubbed against my feet. I thought he rubbed against me very earnestly, just like when he stuck to me to complete tasks before. Every time he stuck to me, he would make a purring sound. Henry said that was the sound a fox would make when it was comfortable. I couldn't force a smile. Could it be that Lucas will never turn back in his life? Theodore said to me with a smile, "I think this little fox likes you very much." He suddenly thought of something, grabbed Lucas, and was going to turn him over to have a look. Is this little fox male or female? I snatched Lucas from his hand and hugged him in my arms. This is Lucas's privacy. Lucas let out a giggle of ing, thinking of that night's dream. I put him down again. Being curious about everything will only harm you. He's male. I've checked. I stopped Theodore's actions and directly told him the answer. Theodore clicked his tongue. Then you're even more of a pervert than me, so you've already seen it. My ears suddenly burned. Get out of here. I've said that I don't have a very good temper. During the days Lucas stayed in the dormitory, he attracted the attention of the students in the next door dormitory. Many people came to see this beautiful white fox and all liked him very much. Every time I returned to the dormitory and saw them, I would drive them away. Taking one look is enough. Why did they keep staring? Everything was fine originally, but as more and more people talked about it, suddenly someone wanted to report us. They were those male students from other departments who lost to our department in the last basketball game. They threatened to report us to the dormitory supervisor and the class advisor tomorrow morning. Theodore got anxious. What should we do? I also got anxious. How on earth can Lucas turn back? What if he gets sent to the zoo? Lying in bed, I stared into Lucas's eyes and suddenly thought of that dream the other night. In the dream, he said that it would be okay if I hugged him and slept with him for one night. Could it be that he sent me a dream? I first sent Theodore and Henry away. You two go to sleep. I've already thought of a way. Actually, I'm not entirely sure, but those people are going to report him tomorrow morning. I have to give it a try. If it really doesn't work, I'll take him away tomorrow. Can't really just watch him get caught and taken to the zoo, right? I said I'm kind-hearted. When Theodore and Henry finally fell asleep, I stuffed Lucas, this white ball, into the quilt. The smooth fur touching my body was quite comfortable. He looked at me with bright eyes in my arms, and I quickly covered his eyes. Don't look at me. Go to sleep. Slept soundly until dawn. When I woke up, I was already in Lucas's arms. Lucas really turned back into a human. But why are the fox ears on his head still there? I reached out and grabbed into the quilt. The tail is still there. Theodore and Henry woke up. Theodore hugged his head and cried, "Where is our little fox? Has he already been stolen? I'm going to settle the score with them." I covered the two white ears on Lucas's head. I've sent the fox away through someone. He's safe. Don't worry. Theodore stopped crying, sniffling as he looked at me. Really? Where did you send him? Can I go and see him later? I fobbed him off. Let's talk about it later. Theodore took a tissue to wipe his nose, frowning as he looked at me. What does later mean? Wait, who's that on your bed? How come there's a living person? Theodore strained to look over here, to prevent him from seeing the fox ears on Lucas's head. I held Lucas's head down. Theodore shouted, "Lucas is back. Why are you two in the same bed? When did you get together?" Don't talk nonsense. His bed was dusty since he hadn't been back for a few days, so he slept here. I pulled the bed curtain shut and pointed at the ears on Lucas's head. I whispered to him, "What's going on?" Lucas glanced upwards but saw nothing. He reached up to touch his head. He pursed his lips and frowned slightly. Sure enough, what? If I don't stay close to you, you'll turn back into a fox. What happened a few days ago has already proven it. The night you drove me away, I felt terrible all over. When I woke up the next day, I had turned back into a fox. I overslept that day. When I woke up in the morning, you guys had all left. In order to avoid the dormitory supervisor's inspection, I ran out and came back the next day. Coincidentally, I was discovered by Theodore. He shouldn't be lying. So it was really you who sent me a dream to tell me the way to transform back? Lucas nodded. I gave him a glare. If you're going to send a dream, do it properly. What a mess you were wearing in the dream. It made me. The words got stuck in my throat and I couldn't say them. What did it make you feel? It made me annoyed. It disturbed my state of mind. I've been abstinent for a long time. Okay, what was I wearing in the dream? You sent the dream and you don't know? I don't have enough spiritual energy. When sending a dream, I can only convey the message. I don't know the specific content of the dream. Well, he doesn't really seem like someone who remembers the scene in the dream. After all, if he had climbed on me with all four paws like in the dream scene, he wouldn't be so calm now. These things are not important. What's important is, then what should I do with these ears? Why did they only transform back halfway? Maybe I need to get closer to you these days. I need your vital energy. Sure enough, he's a fox spirit. If you keep sticking to me and sucking my vital energy like this, won't you drain me dry over time? Are you trying to kill me? Don't worry, big brother. It won't have any real impact on you. He stretched in the quilt. It'll just make you feel a bit tired and weak. No wonder I felt extremely tired every time I woke up during that period when he secretly came to my bed at first. I hope that's all it is. So, do you agree? Agree to what? Help me recover. After hesitating for 2 seconds. Okay, I guess. It's just going to make me a bit tired anyway. I'm a helpful person. Besides, I don't have a choice but to agree. He can't keep walking around with those fox ears on his head. I turned over and got out of bed, then said to Theodore and Henry, Lucas was too sleepy on his way back. I'll ask for a leave for him so he can rest. Actually, I'm going to buy him a hat. These ears can't change back now. We have to find a way to cover them. Before I went out, Lucas stuck out a hand from behind the bed curtain. Come here for a moment. I leaned my ear towards him. I forgot to tell you that because it's your dream. The way you imagine me in your mind is how I'll appear in the dream. Brother, what am I wearing in your dream? His face flushed. I turned around and walked away. I suspected that he was deliberately teasing me. How boring. He always spoke seriously with a hidden smile in his eyes. Look at him, acting like a little fox. I was too lazy to argue with him. I quickly picked out several hats in the store and went back to put them on Lucas's head. Why did you buy so many? There was a big promotion. I impatiently stuffed all the hats onto his bed. Just now in the store, the boss asked me which hat I wanted. I hesitated for a long time, feeling that any hat would cover half of Lucas' handsome face. He is good looking. At least, he should wear a hat that matches his temperament, right? Moreover, what if he doesn't like the hat I picked? After walking around the counter for a long time, I took out my phone to check my balance. Alipay, WeChat. I scraped together all the money and transferred it to one bank card. I'll take all the hats. Why is it so expensive to raise a fox? I've spent all my savings for marriage, but he is so good looking. He should be well raised, right? He's good looking, but a bit stupid, because he said, I only have one head. Wear them in turn. I have a bad temper. I went to pick up the pile of hats. If you don't like them, forget it. Lucas held my hand and the corner of his mouth twitched upwards. I like them. Theodore came back at night and stared blankly at Lucas. He sighed. Lucas, do you know who you look very much like? Who? Theodore was on the verge of breaking down. Seeing Lucas reminded him of the fox. The little fox we raised during the days when you were away. I miss it so much. He stretched out his chubby hand and pointed at Lucas who was eating grapes. It liked grapes the most, just like you. For the next several days, behind Theodore and Henry's backs, Lucas would cuddle with me during the day and snuggle with me at night. Clearly they were so attached to each other in private. But his ears and tail just wouldn't retract. Theodore became suspicious. Lucas, why do you like wearing a hat so much recently? Even indoors? I held back Lucas who was about to explain. Let me explain for you. I walked over. Because he's pretending. Theodore, Lucas. But this couldn't go on like this. Wearing a hat in front of outsiders all the time caused him great inconvenience in life. Even when washing his hair and taking a bath, Lucas had to avoid others. Because he was afraid of arousing suspicion, he would just blow-dry his hair with a hairdryer casually and then quickly leave the bathroom every time. He always put on his clothes and came out before his ears and tail were dry. I heard him sneeze, this fool. It really makes people feel a little distressed. At night, Lucas secretly climbed into my bed and fell asleep, snoring coo in my ear. I worried about him and was so anxious that I couldn't fall asleep. I turned on my phone to search. If I can't find information about the habits of fox people on the internet, I should be able to find something about foxes, right? What on earth is wrong with his symptom of being so clingy and always needing to be close to others? Moreover, he was more active than usual. Baidu popped up a serious answer. From January to April every year is the season when foxes are in heat and conceive their next generation. During the season, male foxes are always in an excited state. They will be more lively and active than usual, like to chase female foxes and make ambiguous cooing sounds, and like physical contact. No wonder he needs to be close to others. So that's how it is. Who was talking? I turned my head and saw that Lucas was actually wide awake, looking at the phone screen with me. Something furry in the quilt wrapped around my leg and wound its way up. Lucas looked at me. Brother, I seem to know how to retract my ears and tail. I seem to know too. During Lucas' heat period, if the hormones are not released in time, he will turn back into a fox. Before, he could control himself just by touching me. Later, he needed to secretly sleep with me to suppress the transformation. After that, he had the urge to kiss me. Now he can't retract his ears and tail. Maybe it's because he only hugged me but didn't kiss me. The hormones in his body are becoming more and more intense. Now, just lying together is no longer enough to suppress them. Lucas suddenly rolled over and pinned me down. Brother, if you don't kiss me, I'm afraid that lying together won't work later, and I'll turn back into a fox again. His tail swept back and forth around my waist. I felt a tickling sensation in my heart. The scene from my previous dream appeared in front of my eyes. I swallowed hard. I have a bad temper, but I am good at helping. Just as the saying goes, help others to the end. See a Buddha to the. His lips were so sweet. I don't know how, but I just actively looked up and kissed him. Count me in for the most helpful person in China award next time. During the kiss, as we guessed, as expected, Lucas' ears retracted after being soothed. After the kiss, I quickly pulled back, blushing and scolding him. I'm only helping you this once. Just this once. It's impossible. Foxes have a long mating season. Lucas' hormone levels are rising faster and faster. Before long, short white fur began to grow on his body. One kiss can only hold him off for a few days? I'm speechless. At this rate, within a day, his body will be fully covered in fur, and he'll turn back into a little fox. Can I just stand by and do nothing? I'm not the kind of person who would watch someone suffer. I gave him a few more kisses. The matter isn't over yet. After some time, even a few kisses couldn't suppress his transformation. Maybe something more intimate is needed to suppress his hormones and prevent him from turning back into a fox. So, one late night when Theodore and Henry were out, I was on my flimsy small dormitory bed. I confessed myself, help others to the end. I've been quite generous. The next day, after Theodore and Henry came back, they saw broken me, broken in spirit. I'm no longer whole. If you ask me why it's me who's broken and not Lucas. As I mentioned before, when he gets close to me, he'll suck away my vital energy. When I was about to take the dominant position in bed, I suddenly found myself weak all over and without any strength. Black magic. It's black magic. The fox spirit is harming people. In the end, I cried so hard that my eyes were swollen from the pain, and I just couldn't take the dominant position. Theodore asked me why I had tears in my eyes. I ignored him and walked away in humiliation. A few days later, Theodore suggested that we have a dinner with his former roommates. Theodore has a little money and said he would treat us. I was the first to agree. It's just right. My injured heart really needed something else to distract me. Sure enough, Theodore and Henry's former roommates were all in pairs. One pair was Mateo and Liam, and the other was Alexander and William. All four of them were quite good looking. But personally, I thought they were not as good looking as Lucas. When Alexander saw Theodore and Henry, he let out a scream. Weren't you two working out before? Why did you gain weight and then lose it again? Theodore clicked his tongue. We thought you were being bullied. Later, we found out you were okay. So we stopped working out, and our figures went back to normal. After sitting down in the restaurant, Mateo and Alexander didn't sit with their boyfriends but sat with me. Before the meal, they turned their heads to ask me, one on my left and the other on my right. Mateo smiled. You're the same as us, right? Then let's sit together. I wondered, the same as what? Alexander also smiled. We're all bottoms. We can exchange experiences. My face instantly flushed red. I'm not. Seeing Lucas sitting in the middle of the two bottoms boyfriends, I suddenly understood. Fine, so that's how the seats are arranged. Huh? I got up and walked towards Lucas. You go over there. Why, brother? His calling me brother made me feel very proud. That's your seat over there. Go play with them. I pushed him over and sat down between Liam and William myself. Before I even got the bench warm, I got unhappy again. Why do I feel like Lucas is chatting and laughing? Is he showing his true nature as a fox and trying to flirt with other people's boyfriends? I called Lucas to the toilet. Those two both have boyfriends. What are you, a vixen, up to? Lucas covered his mouth with the back of his hand and let out a soft laugh. Are you jealous? What the hell would I be jealous about? I'm not your boyfriend. That's right. Although I helped him get through several heat periods smoothly, we've never officially acknowledged this fact. Lucas suddenly froze for a moment. Why not? He lost his smile and no longer looked like he usually did when teasing me. Then what were we before? Am I just unlucky? It's just me helping you. Lucas pinned me against the wall and was so anxious that he almost let out a fox cry. I felt that he was about to get angry, with a face full of unhappiness. I'm your boyfriend. You're not. I pushed him away arrogantly. You foxes are fickle. If I'm going to find someone, I have to find an honest one for myself. Where am I not honest? You have a knowledge misunderstanding. A fun fact, foxes are one of the most affectionate animals. We've always practiced monogamy. One fox for one lifetime. I've said it before, we foxes are the most decent. Then why were you smiling so happily when chatting with Mateo and Alexander? What were you talking about? Aren't you just trying to steal someone else's partner? Lucas laughed again when he heard this. Brother still says he's not jealous? I just can't stand his annoying look. I grabbed his chin and pulled him close to kiss him. I think you just need a kiss. Every time I plan to show off in front of him, I'll end up being bitten back, because once I touch his body, he'll suck away my vital energy. This really doesn't have any impact on my life or health, but my body will feel extremely weak. Just like now, when I try to take the initiative and kiss him. In the end, I'll end up being pinned against the wall by him and kissed. Lucas bullies me with his advantage. Brother, call me husband and I'll let you go have a meal. All the strength in my body is about to be drained. I can only weakly plead for mercy. Husband, back at the dining table, with weak legs? I feign anger at him. Don't wag your tail later, he smiles. Got it. Lucas pushes me out. At home, I'm the husband. Outside, you're the husband. That's more like it. Theodore gets excited while eating and starts to miss the little fox again. He asks me where I sent it and says he wants to go see it. I comfort him that I'll take him to see it later. Theodore then sighs. I feel like my college life is like an animal world. The most magical thing is that I've encountered a snake, a shark, and a fox. He looks up and sighs deeply. I have to find a master to do a divination. What kind of fate do I have? I pretended to be an alpha all day. Before the group separated, Lucas had an abnormal physical reaction. I thought he was going through another special period. Then he held my hand and pointed at Liam's departing back. He gasped heavily, trying to hold back. Brother, I don't know why, but I really want to devour him. Ah, do foxes eat people? I pulled him away. I think you'd better go home and eat me instead.